Let me tell you a story about a 14-year-old skinny kid with an aesthetic dream. This is me at 15 years old, and this is me now at 25 years old. I've been working out for a while now, but it didn't always go as planned. And I did many things wrong along the way. The truth is, my journey has been far from perfect. But why am I telling you this? Because younger me would have wanted to hear stories like this too when he was getting started. Guys, tell me below what got you into fitness and how far into your journey are you now? Alright, grab some popcorn and tune in. Let me take you back in time. I was 14 years old when I first became interested in building my physique. It was early 2012. I was in grade 9. Everyone has a different spark in their journey. For me, initially it started out as nothing more than wanting a visible six-pack. At the time I thought it was the epitome of a male physique. My drive initially was purely aesthetic. I wasn't doing it because I was bullied, to get girls, or other common reasons. I made a bet with my friend that in 6 months I could carve out a six-pack. See what I did there? No? Okay. So it began. I would spend each day after school in my garage doing as many crunches and sit-ups as I could. Having low body fat to begin with made the results quickly visible, and I managed to pull it off. At the time, I didn't realize that visible abs wasn't much of an accomplishment in the fitness world. There was so much I was about to learn. The turning point was the internet. Researching online and seeing different physiques all over the world, including old school physiques such as Arnold, changed my outlook on how small-minded I was being. This was just the beginning of a journey that would then become a lifestyle. Having no access to weights at the time, I started doing push-ups and other exercises that I could think of in my garage routines. I even remember curling suitcases filled with luggage since I had no weights. The goal was clear, to build a complete and aesthetic physique. Despite having no access to weights, I quickly saw progression in my physique from the new stimulus. In mid-2012, I moved states. The apartment that I stayed in had a small weight room. I experimented with weights for the first time for the rest of that year. In mid-2013, we moved houses, and once again, I had no access to a gym. At the time, my parents didn't really understand the whole gym thing. They were scared I'd injure myself or stunt my growth. Despite my many appeals, I wasn't allowed to get a gym membership. Throughout 2014, I continued to do bodyweight workouts at home and had access to a few dumbbells and plates. In 2015, I was in my final year of high school. During this time, I picked up free gym memberships in school holidays so I could train with weights. Midway through that year, I signed my first gym membership at Jets. Finally, I would train before or after school and in the school holidays as well. Some of the training sessions were alone and others were with my friend, this guy. During this time, I was still learning through experience and research. There was a seemingly endless amount of information out there. Not all of it was good information, as I learned many years later. By the end of 2015, I had built a good base for myself, while continuing to expand my knowledge. The main area that I still needed to learn about was diet and nutrition. Up until this point, I was eating a good whole food diet, but lacked a sound understanding of calories and macros. In 2016, I moved away from home to study medicine at university. I had access to a much bigger gym, and my progress that year was great. I began researching and dieting and completed my first cut by September. I had just turned 19 at that point. Unfortunately, my high was short-lived. I broke my humerus in a freak arm wrestling accident soon after. Kids, don't arm wrestle. The break needed surgery, and the surgery left me with a radial nerve palsy for 1 month, and a long rehab and recovery process that took the better part of 1 to 1.5 years. This was a major setback after finally getting into university and being in the perfect environment for training. During the next 1 year period, I focused on rehab and leg training. This was when my fitness Instagram was born. My journey is documented like a logbook on there. In 2017, while I was recovering from the worst injury of my life, I thought it would be a good idea to bulk from 66 kilos all the way to 82 kilos. Guys, it was not a good idea. I did put on some muscle, but I put on a lot of fat as well. This is definitely not a physique that I'm proud of, but hey, we learn from our mistakes. It took me 5 months of dieting to finally get myself into the best shape I had ever been in up to that point. I was now 20 years old. I continued to expand my knowledge and learn about bodybuilding. The journey was far from smooth, and more mistakes were made along the way. However, many valuable lessons and a wealth of knowledge was gained as well. This was the beginning of my fitness journey, from age 14 to 20. The rest of my story, from age 20 to 25, is less exciting. In 2021, I started working as a doctor in the hospital. I did my first ever bodybuilding show in 2022 at 24 years old. Since then, I focused on maximizing my training, and I'm currently living life and enjoying the process at 25 years old. Everyone's story is unique, but there's one thing we all have in common. We all want to get better. We all want to be the best versions of ourselves. If you want to speed up your progress by months, even years, then my next video is something you won't want to miss. If that sounds like a video for you, make sure to hit that subscribe button to be notified when it's up. And guys, if you enjoyed this video, it would mean a lot if you smash that like button. It really helps push it out on the YouTube algorithm. Have a productive week and see you in the next one.